Hello and welcome to today's upload. We are finally going to find out the winner announcement of this If We Could Turn Back Time 80s edition. Now, it started all the way back on the 5th of March. There must have been some IP problems because it finished on May the 7th and then we had to wait 3 months. Now, this has been filmed on the 17th because it was supposed to be announced on the 16th. And I could not find it. I looked all over the website. It wasn't there. I couldn't see anything. Then I was reading different bits and pieces of, well, where do you actually find out which one of these amazing ideas won? Because there are so many good things that got added into the 80s edition. I think a lot of people all thought it was going to be the big Goonies boat because that thing, well, that just went off like wildfire. And then I did actually finally, first thing this morning, manage to find the link. How I couldn't find that yesterday is because I'm stupid. So these are the two winners. Now, we are coming all the way down. You can see down here, we are blown away by all the amazing 292 submissions that was there. So we can see that they had so many to go through. Maybe that's why they had to make this competition a little bit longer, because there has been another competition already that is finished, and they are into their third one, I do believe, as well. But we'll be covering those in a different upload. Now, as we start to scroll down, you can see you've got meet the winning models. Underneath here, the winner is, and I thought this was going to be the case, is the 1985 Goonies by Delusional Brick. So congratulations to that channel, that team that have put this together, because you can see just how amazing this is. Now, are we going to get all these minifigures in it? Potentially. Is it going to be this amazing detailed boat? Hopefully. Be very, very interesting to see what is changed, because this is basically a one and done for the Goonies because it has everything on the inside. Now, underneath this, it looks like it says it's Gizmo from the Gremlins. So there is something from the Gremlins as well. It's the big Gizmo, not the smaller house. Now, again, massive congratulations to the team or the individual that has put this together. As you can see, it's been created by Tiamat. I butcher every single name, so don't take offense. But that is the crew that has put this thing together. I personally was hoping it was going to be from this franchise, but I actually wanted the house because I wanted to have like a little horror section in my own winter village. But this kind of carries on with the nice theming of absolutely everything. So you can see now that there are the submissions will join other products in development right now. We don't have the details to share about the final models, but as always, as they get closer, it will see. And this was actually published on the 14th. So I am miles behind. How I could not find this, because it does not look like when you go onto here, when you scroll all the way up, it's not, they haven't changed the colour. It's still black. So I just thought it was waiting to be announced, because that date did keep changing quite a lot. So I thought it had been delayed. But we now finally have some breaking Lego news, which is nice. So I think this will sell very, very well. Obviously, this is going to be the same size scale as a lot of the others that are out and about. I don't know if we can actually, can we click on the winner and actually see the pictures? No. Fantastic. So page not found for that one. Have they not linked it together? Have they linked this in? Yes. Yes, they have. Good. So that's what it looks like from the front. That's what it looks like from the back. You can see it's nice little bum cheeks, and then you've got the bit across the back of the head. Really nice detail in this one. The ears look great, and it'd be interesting to see what they do change and actually how tall a scale this one comes in. Now, you can change some little bits and pieces with, and you can see it's got the cool little Octane thing just up at the top. So are they going to have more variations of it? You can see that you have got the different mouth on this one as well, so you can see that you can change the mouth. The eyes are the same, but the mouth does change, and you've got the ribbon and everything going across the top, which is always nice. And then you can see you can add in this one with a little bit of just different bits and pieces. Won't spoil why, the reason that is on the actual film, but it is there for you if you want to check that one out. So congratulations again to the winner of that one, and then up to this one. So right, the Goonies from 1985. So you can see that these are just rendered images, but if we go through to this one, you can see what this one is going to look like. Now, I really, really hope they do not mess and ruin the base of this one like they have just done on the Nightmare Before Christmas set, because I, for my own collection, want sets that I can add on into a much larger display, and this for me is a perfect base to add into a water park of a theme park. If they add it on to the big black display base, it will ruin it and I will not get it because I cannot be bothered to spend more money changing it back to how this base is. But Lego at the moment seem to be going down the line of just having lots and lots of display bits and pieces where they're putting that black strip all the way around the bottom like they do the architectural sets, which are a different line, but they have now got into the much bigger habit of doing these with a lot of other bits and pieces. Now the jaws got away with it because you can actually take the boat off and the shark off, but obviously you are paying extra for the base if you want it, or vice versa. That I massively appreciate, but how they had changed the new idea set really did not sit well with me whatsoever because I wanted it to display it differently. But for those guys and girls that wanted to display it on the shelf, well, you are living the dream with that one because it looks perfect for that. So please, Lego, please, 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 when you come to design this, keep it on the blue watered base plate so we can just add it into the display. Now, obviously, this is going to be coming out at potentially a perfect time because the pirate boat is retiring in 2024. And obviously, this is going to be coming out in 2025. So potentially, it would work very, very well. And you can see just all the details and everything that they've added in. It would be great because I could just have this as a queue line to a water ride or just something. And I could just use this as the nice backdrop and I can just put some water around it. Because if you didn't know, I am very, very slowly doing my whole display as a huge Lego theme park. And I am trying to find sets to add in. And I've hit a brick wall recently because every single newer set that has come out all seems to be on this display base at the bottom. And I just refuse to spend any more money changing it back. And the Lego Ideas stuff normally is very, very doesn't change too much. Sometimes the colours change. Obviously, the D&D ideas set changed, but it was still on the same base. They just changed the colour of the dragon. There was loads of little bits and pieces. But this new Nightmare on a Nightmare Before Christmas set, I was about to say Nightmare on Elm Street. That's a different franchise. Go on, Lego, please. Please have a proper 18 horror thing. Now, with the excessive Deadpool, let's hope they... Could you imagine? They could bring out a proper Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger, but yeah, they're getting off the rails on this. So if they do keep this the same, they've got all of the different bits and pieces in it. They've got everything in there. They've got a room for every single character. Will they give us all these characters on to just make this on a smaller scale? Potentially. It does look very, very long. So it'll be interesting to see how they can do it with regards to obviously having it as stable as possible, because that's obviously something that Lego do thrive themselves on with regards to actually making sure that if you breathe on it, it doesn't fall apart like some of the older UCS Lego Star Wars stuff, because you could not sneeze and that thing fell apart. But this looks like it's got lots and lots of different nice detailing, all the different layering, and you've got all like almost like the different levels. So it could be a perfect play area for me. It could be a perfect thing on water. It could just be something that I can add in as long as they keep it straight. They don't start to add in a curve or try and do something different. This would be very, very easy for me personally to slot in. But what do you prefer? Would you like this on a one and done standalone architect base where they raise it up and put the black strip across so it is just meant to be a display piece? Or would you like it to be like this where you could try and add it into your harbour or add it into anything that you can think of doing? Because I just don't like spending even more money on parts once this has come in. Now, I think this would be quite a high price point because it does look very, very good as well. But you can see it's got nearly 1,000 comments on here as well. So it was extremely, extremely popular when it first came out. And again, massive congratulations to everybody that tried to get their bits and pieces within. They obviously can see that there's all these other competitions running and going at the moment. And in fact, if we go into the challenges, one of the challenges that we've already covered is the pets in play. So you can see you can view the winners for the pets in play and you can view the winners already for this. And there's also 2 days left to get your exhibits into the Lego house. So you can see I go to the Lego house quite often and you can see that they're already looking at the 23rd of September. So August, June, July, August into September. So it's going to be done in a month from when the intake phase finishes, which you can see 3 months was a very, very long time for the ATs. I don't know if it's just because they had so many submissions or they just had problems. But if they had problems, hopefully it's done. I've got a very, very funny feeling the Goonies and the other are both on the same IP, and Lego do own the rights for that. So yeah, they own the rights for this one and the other one, I think. Potentially, because see, Gremlins 2 Rambo style is also available as a bonus Oh, so it's based on Rambo 2. Fair enough. So yeah, so the Gremlins and t'other one, this thing just here, the Goonies. I'm trying to think who owns the rights to both of them. I think it's the same franchise. Why do I think it's DreamWorks or something stupid like that? Which is the new license that they've just got with all the minions and things, I do believe. Very, very complicated. Obviously, luckily, I'm not the one that has to sort out all the zeros and ones to be able to do all of that kind of stuff. I've got the Lego website up and running, ready to go, just in case there's anything new added onto this. That's covered. This was for the Lego house. Now, I don't know if this is going in the main museum or into what section this is going, but they do have a lot of different areas for it. But normally they're huge displays. So if you have to stay within this size, I would think it might be in the blue zone. They might put these in, maybe all the red, because the actual main museum bit, when you go up the stairs, you've got the big tree of creativity. The scales of those things are absolutely enormous, and you've got to have some serious detail. Some of the stuff that you see on display is just mind blowing. So again, good luck to everybody that has entered their submission in for this. I'll try and cover this back again in a couple of days' time, because you can see it's going to go in for the review. Then it goes into the crowd vote, and then the winner gets announced. So we will see exactly what's going to be happening on with that one. Moving on to this one. So this is what I am going on about. This was actually one big, beautiful base. And what they've done now, you could still potentially get away with it, because I don't know if it's meant to be a display piece with regards to it being on a shelf, or if you could get away with it and actually have it on. But I preferred the details of the base of the other one, but it did look like it was one big thing, whereas this looks like it's three individual bits. So if I quickly find a photo of the older one. So I've headed over to Brick Fanatics website, fantastic website over there for all the different bits and pieces. Now this was obviously from 2022 is when this came out from, but this is what I mean about the base on this. Now for me, the base works much, much better for what I wanted to do. And you can see if you just literally go side to side, you can see how it is very, very different indeed with regards to that, to that. Now, that I can see why they've done it, because potentially they're thinking that base might have been a little bit too big or whatnot. But I would have loved to have had this right outside the haunted house, or put in with some of the other Disney bits and pieces. Whereas that, it just looks a lot smaller. Now, again, with the height as well, I really prefer the height of the original, because I've seen this one in person and I saw it and was like, that would work in scale with all the other little bits and pieces. Whereas this one, it looks like they've just sort of shrunk it down a little bit. But of course, we all know that you have Disney tax. Now, Lego can't do anything about that. So they've had to shrink it down to keep it in this price point. It is what it is. So I think some people might be disappointed it's now not on that base. The design's pretty much the same. They've obviously just shrunken down the tower. You've got that bit on the side, just on there on the left, slightly different. And then obviously this bit there, very, very similar. It's just sort of, again, a more shrunk down version of. A little bit more detail potentially on one of the sets compared to the other, and vice versa in places. So it's the best of both worlds, but they have obviously just changed it potentially to an actual design base. And you can see on the inside just here, it does look like the walls and stuff will connect, and that you can build it in separate pods, and it is just a slightly different shape. So again, with regards to the fact that, I guess the way I should say is, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the new, it just has to be on a shelf and then you can just have it on display? Or do you want to add it into your actual sort of city and do bits and pieces with it? And then obviously with this, you could layer it, you could put it up high, you could do bits and pieces with it. This was very much a case of do whatever you wanted with it. Whereas this, you might have to take a little bit of it apart to do bits and pieces. This obviously is a much shrunken down version. So now I don't think this is going to scale as well. But this is, I think, the first ever time that we have got a Father Christmas in this and holding that candy cane, which I am very excited about. And up here, two new minifigures, two new CMFs. They are, sorry, let me rephrase that. These are not the same CMF. So we have got the Jack is on the longer legs now, and this lady just here does have different print. So they are not the same as what we've already been given. So at least that's not a redo from what I have read, which is quite handy. And then you've got all of these sort of creepy, weird, and wonderful things just here. I'm still tempted to get this one and see if I can make this work as the graveyard queue line. As a bit of theming outside my big haunted house drop tower. But what I did want to do was use the hidden sides gate with the graveyard and have it in front of this and have this as like a big photo opportunity instead. So it might just change, and I might just have to rearrange my sort of horror section ever so slightly and see if I can actually make it work, because it might work as additional theming to the ride, because it is obviously going to be a little bit smaller. But that's how I look at adding stuff to my own display. If I just wanted it on a shelf, this would be absolutely perfect. I would not moan at this whatsoever. I'd be like, yeah, it's on the shelf, absolutely splendid. But I don't. I want to try and add it in and do weird and wonderful things that other people don't do. But this is going to be coming on the 6th of September, 169.99. It is item number 21351, 2,193 pieces. So let's just, me anyway, let's just hope that the blue base stays the same and they don't drastically change the base design where they do try and add it in onto these more circular bits and pieces. And I do know that this is much, really, really shrunk down. And I just hope that this little bit here and this little bit here doesn't look lost on the actual shelf and it's not tall enough. But then at the same time, because I have had this conversation, it's 2,193 pieces. So I think it really will pack a punch with regards to the detail, and you can see that you've got the roof and everything comes off, and it is like a mini modular-esque type thing. So they've just shrunken it down, kept all the detail in, so potentially it might work both ways. It might work both ways, and that does look like it is not connected there. And if that is the case, I could actually split this up into 3 individual things and then have it as have the queue line zigzagging around, and then that would be at my benefit because I could not have done that with that base. So yeah, best of both worlds, I guess. That's the whole point of this. It is the best of both worlds, but it's definitely growing on me. But I just hope that they don't really focus on the heavy, thicker bases, because if this was on a thicker base, like the ones that I mean with the Star Wars displays and the diorama bits and pieces, I think you'd struggle to make that work. With this one, I think I might be able to make that work, especially if you can just split all of these up, and I can just add it into the horror section, I think, and just have it as a bit of a queue line on the inside of it. And you can see you've got all the details just in there. So it's 20 inches that way. It's saying the height of it is 12.5 inches height on the tallest bit, and then obviously it shrinks down. Excuse me, it shrinks down ever so slightly. So we will see. We will see what happens with the new ideas ones. But again, congratulations to the designer on this one. And again, congratulations and fantastic work by the Lego design team, the ideas team, to then make something that is in a price point bracket that is affordable, or can be as affordable as possible to people. But this would be very, very interesting. I've not seen one built up yet. Will be very interesting to see just how big it is within the shop. But I have an idea for this, and I think I'm just going to have to get my head around. It's going to have to be theming in my queue line rather than an additional part. Rather than it just being that, we'll go for that. Right, so again, if you're happy with this, and if you're going to get this day one, then obviously please let us know in that comment section below. I have just clicked on something completely wrong, which is fantastic. So we will, in a very, very quick second, wrap this up, because I didn't want this video to be super long. So that's seen that. All of these are done. Now the new Wicked stuff is out and about. I do believe that is a new film that's going to be coming out from Wicked. So you've got all of these available for pre-order. With the pre-orders, you will get a giveaway purchase if there is one available. As it stands right now, there is not a giveaway purchase available. So do not pre-order this now until a giveaway purchase comes up, because that way you'll get the giveaway for free. If you pre-order this right now and spend $49.99, potentially you could have broken the price point for the giveaway at £49.99 and you just get something for nothing. Otherwise, you'll get nothing and still spend the £50. And you can see there are a couple of others just down here. So you have this Welcome to Emerald City just on there. I know nothing about Wicked, so I'm not going to waste anybody's time. And then you've got the Dormitory, and then you've got this thing just here. Now, the Jaws is still on back order. This is what I meant about the thicker diorama piece. So this is a proper diorama base. But the boat and the shark comes off, which is perfect because I can just add those into the display and it's absolutely fine. So are we saying that this new Nightmare Before Christmas set is a diorama, or have they just changed the base? Because there isn't a plinth or a plaque at the front. So is it meant to be on a shelf, or is it meant to go in? Because now I'm looking at that going, actually, that is a completely different surround. I might be doing a little bit of research into that and just see, because it's not got the same strip all the way around it. They've literally they've just double skinned it. That's all they've done. I wouldn't say that is actually meant for the shelf. I would say you probably could get that in okay. Might be more of a Lego City scale, obviously, rather than like the modular scales or whatever. Well, I think they've definitely done the best of both worlds. I think we can agree that they've done the best of that. And if you can split it up into the three, maybe that was their focus point on that, so that you could have it as three individual buildings, and then I can then snake a path around it. I'm selling this to myself more and more. It was just the scale that was worrying me ever so slightly. The base is obviously, I just didn't want it to be on a thicker base, but I don't think it is as thick as the others. And if that is the case, I was worrying about something for nothing because they've done the same thing just on here. But this one, they put three on rather than the two. So yes, I think I will get away with that absolutely no problem. But I think that's it. Done, finished, and done. There's nothing else new on the Lego website. All the cars are the same. There's no other giveaways available. There might be giveaways in store for the P1 McLaren, but everything else is out and about, and that is it. So yeah, all the Fortnite stuff's there. So done, finished, and done. So guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let us know your thoughts on the new ideas stuff, and of course, this new ideas set that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks' time as well. Are you happy with the money? Are you not fussed whatsoever? Do you want it, but you'll wait until it goes into a sale? Because again, ideas, and I think this was the ideas set as well. So this is the travel moments for £129.99. Again, might look nice on the wall, and you can sort of peg different bits and pieces on there, but I got a funny feeling. I just said it would look nice on the wall. I don't know if you can actually put it up on the wall. Can you? I think you might be able to. I can't remember. We looked at this last time. Yes, you can. So you can put it up on the wall, but you can't put the pictures on it because I think the pictures go behind it, which defeats the object. So then you just have to put in these little bits and pieces at the bottom to say where you've stayed at, taken photos of, and had your hotels at. Whereas when it's obviously led down, you can see where you've got on a boat, you've got all the other little bits and pieces on there. So it's a great idea, but I would have wanted it on the wall, like the world map, for example, and then stringed the different bits and pieces across, just to say where I've gone to around the world, because that is what they've done on there with the plane behind it, and they have added in those bits on there. Right, done, finished, and done. One more time, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I hope to catch you next one. Ta-da.